Welcome to Red Zone Sports Week 16. We got a 9-game banger. We got 6 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon. I'm ready for Sunday. We all get to drink on Sunday. It's the 24th. We got Christmas the next day. We could be hung over. I mean, we've always been begging for NFL to like be on Saturday so we can party and watch the games. Sundays, it's like family day. You got to take care of shit. You got work on Monday. Well, not this Sunday. It's time to party. It's time to play some DraftKings. I'm fired up. How you guys doing?
Doing great. Christmas shopping's done. Spent more money than I wanted to, like always. Ready to win it back this weekend.
Yeah.
I feel pretty good. I feel great that there was football on tonight and that there's 2 games on Saturday. We'll have some content up tomorrow for that. I'm doing some showdowns for the weekend. And then 3-game slate Monday. I mean, on Christmas, no less. We normally have to put up with watching the terrible NBA. Nobody wants to watch games, guys that don't want to play. We were in week 16. We're in the heart of it. I'm a big fan. I'm ready to go. We've got a potential we got one more week till potential another $1 million sweat in best ball. So I'm thankful for that. I've got 3 teams to try and get into the final. So a lot going on this week, but I like this slate quite a bit because it's weird, I think, and I like the weird slates.
Gotta love the weird slate.
Amen.
Yeah. And I'm ready to bounce back. I did well last week in DraftKings, but not that it's the most important thing in the world for us, but we are in a year-long fantasy football league, and I happen to play Vinny, my brother, and he beat me by 1 point. And my 3 running backs, pretty good running backs, Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, and Javonte Williams combined for 8 points. And I lost by 1, and I'm knocked out for the season. And now all I have is DraftKings. So I'm really ready for this week. Well, yep, I'm dead.
That was you.
It's still happening. I'm still groaning. I'm dead.
But it's over with. Going back to Bijan this week or what? Little redemption?
No. Fuck no. Fuck Arthur Smith. I will not play Bijan until Arthur Smith is back.
When
Arthur Smith is gone in the gallows, I'll play Bijan.
Yeah, but you got your boy Heineke back under the old center this weekend. We'll get into it. We'll get into it.
The Falcons at home. The Falcons at home are like the Cowboys at home. They can beat pretty much anybody. They beat the Niners last year at home.
But I love the Colts. It's going to be a feisty one.
And it's going to be feisty.
I might have to give you the old.
We got a little wager going on here for tonight. We'll see.
I think we can do a boot on Monday for whatever wager we come up with. I'll bring the boot so Vinny actually does it this year. I'll bring it to Christmas.
I got my boot now. I got my boot now.
Guy's such a bitch.
I got a bigger boot. All right, guys.
Cool, bro.
Much.
All right, I'm ready to cut my teeth into this slate. Let's fucking go. Quarterbacks, Vinny, small boot, light it up. Let's go.
Let me just preface this by saying I'm paying down this week mainly at quarterback. But if I had to go up top, it's Justin Fields.
Okay.
I think a lot of people are going to be off of him just from last week. Not a great game. But I don't really care. This is a guy, once again, trying to showcase himself for the rest of the league because he will not be in Chicago next year. And he's looking for a starting quarterback job next year. It's a pitiful Cardinals defense that the Niners just absolutely roasted. I shouldn't say pitiful. They're actually pretty feisty, but they allow big plays. And so I think Justin Fields will have a few big plays here. I think he'll have a pretty good game. If I'm paying up, he's my favorite. I have no interest in Dak or Tua this week, and that's where I'm at up top.
Yeah, this seems like a game Fields brings everyone back in on Justin Fields, right? He does this against bad defenses like Arizona. It just kind of set up nicely. I'm with you, Ben. That's a good call.
It just feels like an ugly game with like 2 bad teams where we sometimes see those like bad games break the slate.
Dude, and the fact that it's a 1:30 start in Chicago, that's just weird. We're just calling for weird. So I'm into it.
All right.
I love the fact that every time Vinny says that a quarterback is going to be sneaky, it's literally projecting to be the highest owned quarterback. I'm keeping
All
a
right.
tally now.
I like that.
You're just like natural
Jimmy's keeping
intuition.
receipts.
To be fair, no
And it's not even
site,
close.
no
It's not even
site
close.
at all this year has been anywhere near accurate in terms of ownership. So I will say that right off the bat. I don't care what these sites say anymore because we're going to see injury news and Sims come through. Guys that I see are going to be 5% owned, end up 22. Guys I see that are 30% owned turn out to be 11. Like, it's all over the freaking map. So I hear what you're saying, but I don't believe that.
Well, it's been pretty close. You got to check. I mean, you do have the login to the website
I
that
have
we
it.
use, and you
I
can
checked
check
multiple
it
sites.
right before, and that will give you. It's been pretty damn close. It is Thursday night. Things could change, right? But right now he's projected to be 17% owned in large field GPPs. And if you're looking at 3 max or single entry, he's probably going to be like 25 to 26% owned.
Okay.
So,
well, again, he's going to be about 10% owned for me because, again, I'm paying down this week. So,
okay.
It won't affect me too much, but
I'm all over Tua. All over Tua. All over it. They're playing at home. Cowboys are shit on the road. I don't know how you can not like this game. I don't care. I really don't care if Tyreek plays or not. I think he's going to. But where the Dallas Cowboys can just get diced up is the quick passing game. You saw it with the 49ers. Quick throws over the middle, let the guys run after the catch. They have explosive players, and the Cowboys have problems with that. Everyone saw the Cowboys get gashed for 266 yards on the ground last week. Everyone is just gonna want to go play Mostert. I'm fine playing Tua, Waddle. If Tyreek doesn't play, throw an A-chain in that stack. I love it. Not a lot of people are going to be playing it. It's going to be weird, but if I'm going up, that's where I want to go.
Let me give you my little just crossfire on it and why I'm not playing Tua. He's really similar to Mahomes, in my opinion, where you can just get all your exposure to Tua by playing Tyreek if he plays. And if not, you just play Waddle. He has not like exploded in 6 weeks, 7 weeks. I got over 20 points. And he just throws it to Tyreek. So just play Tyreek and save 7,800 off your quarterback. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of my thought process. It's not like you need a quarterback because he could throw it to 5 different guys. He throws it to like 2 guys, and it's usually just 1. Like even when Tyreek plays, Waddle doesn't even really get there. That's the only fear on it. And I don't know if I'm like reading that wrong, but like we've always talked about, like, I know you play Mahomes a lot, but it's like if I'm going to play Mahomes, I'll just play Kelsey or Rice now. You know what I mean? Like I don't need to pay $8K for a quarterback I'm going to get all the points anyway through him, right?
No, I think you're right. With Tua, you need a 24-point game minimum to hit 4X. He's literally done that 3 times this year, and 2 of those times were in the first 3 weeks of the season. So
to Jim's point, though, if it's going to be a game, I mean, the Dallas hangs their hat on pass rush, and Tua gets the ball out quicker than anybody else in the league. So I understand that point for sure. I'm just saying, like, I'll pay down at a cheaper stack this week and just play Tyreek a ton. You know,
okay.
And if he goes off,
look, you can do that, but I don't.
Are you going to overstack Tua then? Are you going to play him with Mostert and Tyreek, or Tyreek and Waddle?
No, I'm not going to play him with Mostert. If I'm going to play Tua and stack him, I'm either going to stack him. I mean, it's pretty easy. There's so much value out there, especially at running back this week, that you can stack him with Waddle and Tyreek. If Tyreek doesn't play, I'll be playing A-Chain and Waddle because those are the 2 main guys. That's the other reason why I like it, is because their offense is so consolidated, right?
Right.
The Cowboys got torched on the ground last week. They know that the Dolphins like to run the ball. They're going to make it a point to say, if we're going to lose this game, Tua's going to be the one to beat us. else. So
Right.
that's where I like, I don't
Okay.
love it. Going down a little bit, we'll start going below 7,000 now. My favorite quarterback of the week is Jared Goff. He's a completely different person at home. He's not at home, but he's in a dome. So anytime he's in a dome, completely different person, right? He's going to be 5% owned, maybe less. No one's going to want to play him. People have this weird idea now that just because Minnesota, had one decent defensive game against the Raiders, that they're this defensive juggernaut, and that's fine. But Brian Flores is a good coach. Totally co-sign that. But the Lions have better players. It's easy to stack. They're going to try and make Goff. That's the path to beating the Lions. It's not letting them run the ball. Brian Flores is going to do that. And I don't think that they're going to be able to stop St. Brown. I don't think they're going to be able to stop Laporta. They can't stop anybody in the intermediate to deep parts of the field. So my favorite play of the week at quarterback, the guys I'm going to have the most ownership of, is going to be Goff at that magic price tag of 6,900.
All right.
Yeah, you only picked him because of the 69, but I'm going to back that. So this is that time where everyone in media is talking about the Vikings defense and how Brian Flores somehow, after over 100 years of professional football, has somehow reinvented a zone blitz. Everyone's like, oh, this zone blitz? No one's seen this zone blitz before. No one knows what to do. I'm sorry, but that might have worked for a week or two. But the reality is that's not going to continue. It's like the Wildcat offense. You can't invent something for too long before it gets discovered and gets killed. And I feel like Detroit offense is hitting their stride. They have the balance of the running game and the passing game. I love when the running game is going well, because all that's going to do is just open up shit for Jared, right? So, Jim, Jared Goff is my favorite guy up here. He belongs in the high range to me. He's one of the top 6 quarterbacks here. So Jared Goff is my favorite, and Justin Fields is probably number 2. But let's move down from T-Law down to the high 5s. So, Vinny, go ahead and start off here. Who's your favorite in this range?
Well, I do have – if he plays, I have interest in Trevor Lawrence for sure. We've talked about for the last couple of weeks.
Didn't practice on Thursday. I
know it's not looking good.
Yeah.
It's not looking good, but I like –
It's also not good.
I like attacking Tampa's defense, obviously, and through the passing game. So if he plays,
T-Law has the same stats through his first 48 games that Daniel Jones has. You see that graphic that I shared the other day? Mm-hmm. You guys always hammer me about Daniel Jones. Trevor Lawrence has literally the exact same stat line over the same amount of games played. So at what point are we just going to say this guy's not very good?
It's not that he's not very good. Again, I'm talking about from a fantasy perspective. This is a guy who does use his legs. He's hit that 30-point mark a few times this year. He does have upside. I think this Jaguars-Bucks game is one of my favorite games to target so far in the day.
But
why Lawrence plays.
But to your point earlier, why wouldn't you pay? I mean, for me personally, I would just pay $600 less and play Baker.
Oh, I have Baker on my list as well. That's what I'm saying. I like both sides of this game. If Lawrence doesn't play, I like Baker a lot. And I like Baker either way, to be honest.
I think that Jacksonville offense without Christian Kirk is a mess.
It's just a different thing.
It is. But even against a tough Baltimore team, 17 points. Cleveland's a tough game. On the road, 20 points. He went 25 Cincy, 28 Houston, 32 Tennessee. The guy puts up numbers no matter who's really there. So I'm with you. I prefer Baker, to be honest, but I am just mentioning Lawrence if he plays.
Even if Lawrence plays, I will have 0 Lawrence.
Okay.
Yeah, I made a note last week. I was just don't play Lawrence again.
I have one guy that's going to make or break my day down here.
I'll
wait for you guys to talk about your guys, and I'm pretty sure you know where I'm going because I've been touting him for a few weeks now, and he's either going to make or break my weekend.
Say it.
We all know. You might as well just say it.
I don't understand why people aren't playing Flacco. The guy's throwing more attempts than anybody else in the league right now. More than 40 times a game.
I don't get it.
He gets an awful Texans pass defense.
So straight up question. So Stefanski has always just wanted to run the ball.
Mhm.
Do you think that Flacco is literally just audibling and changing the play every
Don't
single
care.
time and just saying, what else are you going to do?
Don't care. Hopefully.
I
Bench
hope
me.
so.
Fuck
Yep.
you.
They got nobody else.
I want to check if Flacco is like 3 touchdowns away from like a personal record.
So-
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, so no, here's the thing, Joey. He has a very heavily incentive laden contract. Number
that
one,
is
he
true.
gets $75,000 per regular season win. Okay, if they make the playoffs, he gets another $100,000. If he gets a wild card win, he gets $150,000. If he gets a divisional win, it's $250,000. Right? Plus, he's got some stat multipliers built in there as well. So, yes, to answer your question, that's what he came in on, right? He said basically, hey, I want an incentive heavy contract. If I get into play, he's basically, I honestly think he's fucking off half of Stefanski's play calls and just doing his own shit.
And
I
I
hope so.
love it. I absolutely love it
Stefanski sucks.
because he is completely
He's all right.
unlocked.
Stefanski's okay, but like you can't just like pound the rock 30 times the game with Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt. They're just not Nick Chubb.
Dude,
right?
I mean, again, 44, 45, and 44 passing attempts his last 3 games.
And his price didn't go up this week.
Even last week,
what's going on?
Even last week, dude, he threw 3 picks and still got to 23 DraftKings points.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because he just keeps
I don't care.
hucking the ball.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's
Fantastic.
no reason not to play this guy.
Yeah,
He's
I'm on
in
board.
a good environment here, and and I'm gonna pair him with Njoku, and I'm gonna pair him with your boy Amari, who saw like 10 targets last week, and I'm gonna move on to Tyreek and some of these other guys because, to my point, I can just take 23 or 24 from Flacco and call it a day, and just fit in all these awesome players.
Yeah.
That's going to be my strategy this week. I'm either going to, like,
right.
if Flacco burns, I'm just closing my laptop and going to enjoy Christmas because it's fucking over. Joe Flacco is going to make my Christmas or he's going to burn me to the ground.
So you do realize he's only going to be about 6-7% owned. So you don't have to play 70% Joe Flacco.
No, 99%, dude. Full send. Just fucking every lineup. Lead it with Flacco and build from there.
There's no reason not.
Happens.
My thing is, like, there's just no reason not to. You know what I mean? Like,
it.
even like guys we like, right? Goff or Fields. Dude, he's throwing up the same numbers as these guys. Now, I know Goff had a great game last week, but like, what are we talking about here? He's 1,400 less than Goff, and he's, right there.
Look,
in terms of
I'm cool. I'm cool with it. I mean, I'm fine with it. I think
ride or
sneaky,
die.
I mean, I'm just saying to the people out there,
or die.
you can play Joe Flacco without playing 100% Joe Flacco. I am going to have a fair amount of him as well. I think he's in a really good spot. I mean, it's kind of undeniable at this point. And like I said, I literally think he's just saying fuck it to Stefanski and calling his own shit. Yeah, I mean, so the one guy that before we move on that I am going to play, and it's because he's at home, and the Colts just aren't very good, even though we like to bet them a lot.
They do cover.
They do cover.
They might not be good, but they are great.
But I'm going to play quite a bit of Taylor Heineke this week. And you don't have to play him with Bijan. I mean, you can try if you want to. I might. But Drake London, I think that Drake London will get those type of targets. They played in a really sloppy, wet game last week. Ritter might be worse than DeVito. I mean, honestly. I mean, he's terrible at throwing the ball. He might be a really good running back.
DeVito's winning.
Yeah, DeVito's better than Desmond.
DeVito's awesome.
DeVito's terrible. He's going to be fucking spinning. He's going to be fucking spinning pizzas on the New Jersey boardwalk in fucking 6 months.
But guess what? It'll be his own pizzeria paid with his rookie contract.
It's true.
Great. He's fucking terrible. And so is Desmond Ritter. And Taylor Heineke can like halfway throw the ball. Right? We've seen it. That's the one thing he can do. He likes to force the ball downfield. I'm going to
That
be
is
playing
true.
quite a bit of Taylor
you
Heineke.
have to root for chaos quarterbacks, and that is like Heineke, it's Minshew, it's Flacco, it's the
Heineke.
guys that
money-
can get you
yeah.
3 touchdowns, but can also throw 3 picks, and just they throw
Heineke-
all caution to the wind because they
Heineke-
have nothing to lose.
Heineke is the definition of chaos quarterback.
And you have to play a chaos quarterback at 4,800. I'm with you. And the Colts, look, they keep games tight. They cover, but the Colts give up a lot of points.
Mm-hmm.
They are not shy
They do.
about giving up points.
No,
And
they've got corners and safeties that guess wrong. They have some pick sixes, which is
I
why
play their
like,
defense every week. I don't care how many points they give
100%.
up because they create so many turnovers.
dude, they do. They create turnovers, but they also give up a shitload of points. So
Yeah.
Taylor Heineke, you don't have to get crazy with it either. It's literally just Heineke and in London. If you want to get wild, you could play Bijan or you could play Pitts with that.
Yeah, I like Pitts.
But I think that, even as a one-off, I really like just playing London this week. But, yeah, I mean, I'm going to have some Heineke. And the numbers back me up a little bit as well. He's showing up in the optimal lineup about 11% of the time and only projected to be about 3% owned. So, not bad.
I don't know, Joe, if you have anybody else. The only other guy that I have on here that had some mild interest in, I want to dig in a little bit more because we think he's going to be trailing, is Nick Mullins. Because very similar, he's going to be throwing. And the weakness for the Lions is DBs. I know that's the big concern, but
Heineke's not going to get pulled. Okay, Flacco's not going to get pulled.
First off, I don't think so, but who knows with Arthur Smith? Let's just preface that.
Look, he's not benched Ritter for the second time this year. I mean, what are we talking about?
Yeah,
so, to your point, Vinny, I liked some of the Minnesota pass catchers.
Yeah,
I'd rather just play them because, Mullins is a legitimate, concern to get benched at halftime.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. I just had him on my list. Again, gun to my head, just being totally frank with you, I'm just going to pay $200 more for Joe Flacco. So,
99% of lineups, 1% Heineke.
What are we talking about here?
And I just want to make sure I mention that Bryce Young is the worst first overall pick quarterback in the all-time history of quarterbacks, and there's a lot of bad ones.
He's very bad.
If you look back on it, not to go into tirade, small, slow, and he does not have a good arm. How the hell did this guy go number 1 overall? You know what I mean? Think about it.
David Tepper has no fucking clue what he's doing.
That's a good point.
Whatever. Let's move on.
No, these owners are look, I ran a fucking $1 billion company. I know what I'm doing. And it's just no, you don't know ball.
No,
you
really
Jim, can you give a quick rundown on running back ownership? Because
it's cheap, baby.
Sure. Ty Chandler, 25%. Devin Singletary, 23%. Tony Pollard, 20%. Jonathan Taylor, 20%. Breece Hall, 16%. Rashad White, 18%. Kenneth Walker, 15%. And then Henry Etienne are 13%. Bijan, 11%. And Chuba, 10%.
I'm sorry. So everyone's paying. That's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Let me just jump right in because I have lineups with White, Mostert, and Taylor right now. All three of them. Because, again, the Flacco stack opens everything.
Well, White and Taylor, the two of the highest.
They're going to be higher
of the week.
Yeah, but Mostert being cheap is insane.
Mostert's 7,300.
I know, but he's getting multiple rushing touchdowns a game.
Dude,
that's why I'm also a little nervous on
touchdowns this season.
That's insane.
And 18 rushing.
He has less than 200 carries.
Yeah,
that's insane. So I'm with you on that.
He's averaging a touchdown every 10 carries.
I honestly I like the A-Chain play better if Hill doesn't play.
Yes.
Rashad White's a guy that I've been rolling with quite a bit this year that I'm actually not going to play this week just because he's too expensive at this point, I think that there's guys you can get to with a lot less ownership, and I just like the overall passing attack a little bit more. I know he's involved in that, and he's a great play, But those like 19 to 20 point games are great when he was priced at $6,000, priced at $7,400. He's got to get close to 30 to get 4x, right? Like he's got to be at 30 points.
I was really hoping he would be dropped down because of price, which would make me want to play him even more. But it sounds like
no. I mean he's solid, right? 21, 24, 19, 16.
You said his ownership's going to be what?
Like 18%.
But that's not that bad.
But it's going to be
like Uber.
But again, we play 3 max and single entry. You have to add at least like 6 to 7 ownership points.
Whoa. Jim, are you okay?
Jim!
Dude, the iPad finally died. Nope.
Oh my God.
Holy shit. Tune into the YouTube if you want to see what the fuck just happened there.
So look, that like 17 to 22 points is fine if you're $6,000, but at 7,400, I personally just think that there's other places to get to. Like ETN, I like a lot more on the other side of that game at 6,600, right? And a hell of a lot less ownership. So
I'd really like ETN.
That's all.
No, I hear what you're saying. I'm going to try my best, if I'm going to do it, to try to get multiple like high-end running backs in my lineup. Like I'll try to go Mostert and White together because I don't think a lot of people are going to double barrel it up high. Like you said, there's a lot of value here. Chandler, Singletary, all these guys down low. So I think it's a way to get a little bit different this week because my strategy is to pay down a quarterback. So you just hope Tyreek doesn't kill you.
Well, my biggest concern with Mostert is that, like I said, the Cowboys got fucking torched on the ground last week. Mm-hmm. Everybody saw it, right? They're going to try and make it a point that say, look, we are not going to allow the opposing quarterback to throw for 83 yards and beat the shit out of us this week. Like, they're going to sell out to stop the run. I get that Mostert gets all the carries around the goal line, but like he could have one of those Henry 2-touchdown games this week where he gets like 16 points and has 2 touchdowns, and that's not really going to get it done at his price tag. And I think that there's other guys out there that have a lot better opportunity at a hell of a lot cheaper price, right? Like there's some guys that, you know, I would rather just play Jonathan Taylor against the shitty Falcons. Like at the same ownership for, $200 less, I would rather just do that.
Yeah. So with that Taylor, are you guys in on him? Because I like him quite a bit. I really don't care about ownership.
He's the one guy that I don't care about ownership this week. I'm just going to play quite a bit of Jonathan Taylor. He's the one I'm going to prioritize getting to up there and get different elsewhere. I just think that he could legitimately have like a 35 to like 40 point game this week.
Well, with no Moss there.
Michael Pittman's still banged up a little bit. No Moss anymore, who they were just splitting time with. So, I mean, the numbers, the Sims really like Jonathan Taylor as well. And I was happy to see that when I opened that up today. I mean, he's showing up in the optimal lineup 22% of the time. That's crazy high. Crazy high.
He's kind of the definition of good chalk, in my opinion. So,
yeah.
I'm with you on ETN. I would much rather play ETN if Lawrence is playing. I just very similar to that.
I think he's fine either way. I think he might even be better if Beathard plays because Beathard really does like to check the ball down.
Yeah. I just think these guys are NFL defenses, right? Like if Beathard's playing, they're going to bring everyone up and be like, okay, go ahead and beat us over the top and like beat us. But
which is why I would like ETN for checkdowns.
Yeah. I don't know. I have a decent amount of interest in Aaron Jones this week. I know he has not been great this year, but Green Bay might be missing like 2 of their 3 starting receivers. And if Aaron Jones is healthy, which it seems like he is, speaking of a guy who could get like 10 targets in the passing game, Aaron Jones is like that guy, right? So, quite interesting.
Yeah, I'm fine with Aaron Jones. That was one guy I was going to talk about as well. Joey, who do you like in this like mid like 6,000, like 5,900 to like 7,000, 6,900.
Well, I'm glad you said 5,900 because it's James Conner. I've been calling it since he came back from his injury. James Conner is going to start exploding. The last 2 weeks he's played, Pittsburgh, San Francisco, both defenses people, like 25 and a half points and 18 points. He is getting touchdowns. He had over 100 yards against Pittsburgh. He's going against the Bears, which, again, it kind of goes back to the little Vikings thing. It's like, oh, this Bears defense is coming around. They're amazing. Well, it's like shit's going to drop at some point. They're not a great team. So I think James Conner might be in line for a 2 to 3 touchdown type of week. And, like, we're not talking about Kyler Murray. We're not talking about the receivers, right? James Conner might have himself a game, and it's very sneaky. It's like no one's thinking about him. The first couple of weeks he came back, I mean, his ownership was so high. He got 7 points, 8 points, 7 points. Everyone dropped off of him. Now he's got 25 and a half points and 17 and a half points against very solid defenses. James Conner is a good running back. And if they get close to the goal line against a Bears team that they're going to get close to the goal line, I think James Conner is the one that's going to take it home. So at 5,900 and no one's talking about him, ownership's nothing. Sign me up.
It's a pretty strong take.
Okay.
I do not think
but it's like no one's talking about it.
The one guy also that I did not talk about is if Joey, you want to earn some of your money back, get knocked out of season long, is I think Kenneth Walker showed why he's the better back in Seattle quite a bit on Sunday, or was it Monday night?
Monday.
I don't understand why Seattle, maybe it was the injury and they were working it back slowly, from that, but he's clearly a much better running back than Zach Charbonnet at this point. Like, the guy is so freaking explosive. If Kenneth Walker is going to get 70% of the snaps even, I'm going to play him at 6,200. The guy just has insane home run hitting ability that, like, Charbonnet doesn't have.
Well, no, and I love it because Seattle's playing for a playoff spot now. Like, they've been playing for a playoff spot, but it's very realistic for them now.
They're not.
Kenneth Walker's running like they're about to make the playoffs, or they need to. He's got a banged up shoulder, and they're holding him out of practice. I don't think it's a problem, to be honest. I think they're holding him out, and they're just like, dude, it's late in the season. You're not fucking practicing. Show up on game day and ball. So, usually when you call Kenneth Walker, it's time, and I gotta jump on board.
I just think Seattle, like, to your point, looks at this like Geno's coming back. This is.
Dude, they might not start Geno this week.
Yeah, they may not. But either way, like, it doesn't matter. Kenneth Walker is, like, behind DK Metcalf, the second best player on that offense. Like, pure and simple, just get him on the field. And again, I think they were working it back. We saw 2 weeks ago, he got, 50-50. He started to get about 60-40 last week. I think that number keeps going up. I think he keeps getting the touches.
See, that's why I'm not going to play him. He's got a shoulder issue. They've got Zach Charbonnet. They've shown that they're willing to give them 50-50 carries. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I would rather play a guy like James Conner, who Joey talked about, who's going to get 90% of the carries guaranteed, or a guy like Chuba Hubbard, who's going to get 85 to 90% of the carries guaranteed again, right? Like, that's where the line of delineation. I think Kenneth Walker is an extremely explosive player, but Seattle has shown us all year that they're not going to give him 85 to 90% of the carries. They're just not going to.
I'm not going to, like, call you out here, like, but he had 19 carries on Monday night, and Charbonnet had 4. Like, it is already that. So, but
when he's healthy, when he's not healthy all of a sudden,
I don't know.
He hasn't practiced 2 days in a row.
It's hard to tell. Like, let's put it this way. We're recording this Thursday night. If Ken Walker is a full participant or whatever on Friday, like, who knows how these teams do this stuff. But if he's ready to rock and roll, I'm rolling Ken Walker on Sunday. Like, that's just me.
But that's the thing, is that if he practiced healthy all week, which he did last week, didn't sit out any practices, 100% participant, he got 19 carries. If you go back to look at other weeks, he's banged up with a groin, a knee, now a shoulder. I would rather play somebody who I know for sure is going to get 85 to 90% of the carries rather than a guy who I just don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and I don't think that they're going to, I just don't see Kenneth Walker getting 19 carries again this week.
Yeah.
So I like him as a player. I would love it if Charbonnet didn't exist. Right. Like if Charbonnet was hurt, I'd be all over it. But it's just a thing for me. I would rather go to Connor.
Are there any value plays like below 5K that I'm missing here? Like Jim, you're really good at figuring these out.
Chuba Hubbard is mispriced. He's had, if you go back and look at his carries over the last few weeks, and I have no idea. Look, obviously they suck, right? Like we know that they're very bad. The one guy who's actually producing, though, is Chuba Hubbard. You know, he's gotten the last 3 weeks in a row, 22, 23, 25 carries. At $5,700, that is wildly – it's wildly mispriced, right? Devin Singletary has basically now taken over the bell cow row.
I just don't like that matchup, dude.
No, I don't like the matchup either, so that's why I would rather play Chuba. I think if we're talking about the other side of that Arizona game, I have some interest if we're talking about a guy you're willing to gamble on some timeshare stuff in Roschon Johnson. $4,800. He has kind of emerged as the passing down back. Okay. And I don't think that, I don't think anybody here thinks that Chicago is going to be blowing anybody out. Right. So, he's getting some attempts, right? But like last week, 4 catches for 24 yards. He's had multiple 4-catch games. He's had a 3-catch game. At 4,800, it's not the greatest play in the world, but like I definitely think it's interesting, especially in a much larger field. And then the other one that you got to look at is Tajay Spears. What do we think about Derrick Henry? If he's not the same Derrick and he really looks like he's aging, if he doesn't get those 2 touchdowns every game, he's getting those like 3 points, right?
Yeah.
So I think that Tajay Spears is a really, really interesting play. I would prefer him if Levis played. I don't know if Levis is going to play or not. Sounds like he might.
He didn't practice today.
But I would still probably take a shot on Tajay Spears. I'm probably going to play him in like 1 or 2 lineups, just in like a larger, the like $12 single entry that has like 10, 15,000 people in it. I think that's interesting for sure.
I do think, just last person, I mean, we didn't talk about him because he's going to be uber chalk, but I do think Ty Chandler's a good play. The guy looked really freaking good and pretty much overtook Madison for that starting position, whether Madison plays or not, and he's going to get 20 plus touches on Sunday.
I would prefer it if Madison was just ruled out.
Oh, for sure.
But
that's all I got.
From there.
All right, let's move on to receiver.
All right, is Tyreek going to break the slate or what?
Yes. I think so. I think he could have played last week if he wanted to. I think McDaniels was very confident.
He warmed up, and there was a tweet that was like, this guy's backflipping in warm-ups.
Yeah, he's fine.
He just didn't play.
But he's playing. They're just like, take the week off. He was confident last week, and he goes, take the week off. The Dallas game's way more important to us. Be ready for that to absolutely torch.
So
I'm going full send on Tyreek. Like, 50% of lineups.
3 games to get 460 yards.
This Dallas defense is predicated on trying to jump balls and make big plays.
Yeah.
If Tyreek puts one fucking double move on anyone on that Dallas defense, they're done. And they're going to try to send double, triple coverage to him, and I don't think it's going to matter because Dallas and Dan Quinn, he likes to play man coverage. He likes to blitz. He likes to run faux cover 2s. And Tyreek is just going to absolutely eat in this game. I'm all the way in on Miami on this side, and I'm going to send.
I think I'm with you. I think you need 40 from Tyreek, obviously, to like really hit value, and I think he absolutely gets there potentially.
The problem is if he hits 40 and you don't have Tyreek, or if he even hits 35 or 30,
he going to be
Tyreek, right? It's problems.
Like 10 to 15%.
Okay, so I might be like 80% Tyreek.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Yeah.
just like we were just talking about it. We've got Chuba Hubbard getting 20 to 25 carries a week at 5,700. There's all kinds of value out there, right? There's huge value at tight end. I think this week for the way that these guys are priced. Some of these tight ends that are getting wide receiver 1 volume are priced like wide receiver 3s.
But it's
right?
like not even that. Like we saw this last season and the season before. At this point in the season, the best players were getting over $11,000 to have them in your lineup.
Yeah.
We're not seeing players even go over 10K this year. You got Tyreek at 9,600, and this guy might break the receiving record. So at 9,600, I know it looks expensive, but if you know DraftKings pricing over the years, 9,600 is cheap. And that's what we see with McCaffrey every week. If you've got McCaffrey under 10K, you play him. And I think Tyreek's in that same boat.
100%. All right. Scrolling on down here, I think one of my favorite plays of the week is St. Brown. We talked about it with Goff. They're indoors against Minnesota. That short to intermediate throws that Goff gets off, he's a very instinctive wide receiver. He finds those gaps in the zones, and Goff is good at getting him the ball, right? So, we know Brian Flores is going to blitz a ton. Fantastic. He's going to blitz probably, I think they're the highest blitz percentage so far in the NFL this year. He is an absolute blitz beater. Doesn't have to throw the ball far down the field to be effective. Great run after the catch. I don't know why he's only 8,200. He should be closer to 9,000 with CD. It's weird to say somebody is mispriced at 8,200, but I think that he's mispriced at 8,200.
Mm-hmm.
Don't disagree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Evans, could I interest you guys in some Mike Evans this week?
Always. Future Hall of Famer Mike Evans.
He really hurt me last week, and I'm going right back to the well.
Yeah, he's a guy like this year with Baker. Godwin had it for his first good week in a long time last week, but so did Evans, right? So he's a guy like Cooper where I'm just going to keep going back to and keep playing him until it burns me, which I don't think it's going to. He's not going to be highly owned. He's coming out at positive leverage. There's no reason not to play Mike Evans this week, in my opinion.
I like Mike Evans a lot. I also like right there is Pittman. I know he's not like healthy, but like, dude, I was watching that game.
He had a minor concussion scare. He was full contact today in practice. Like that tag will be gone tomorrow.
Dude, he was on pace. I was watching that game. He was just getting peppered with targets early on until that ended. Like he was going to have like 15 targets in that game.
Oh yeah, it was like Olave tonight, where you're like, dude, is Olave going to have like 17 catches? He had 4 catches on the first time.
Yeah.
And then he had a good night tonight. I think he would have been kind of the same thing last week. I'm bummed that he got hurt because I had a fair amount of them. But yeah, I'm with you on Pittman. There's a lot of expensive wide receivers that I like this week, which is why I was focusing more at running back on the lower end guys. Lower end, paying them down on running back, paying down at quarterback, paying down at tight end, and just jamming the high priced wide receivers is my favorite builds that I've looked at so far this week.
That's why I'm saying, like, kind of strategy-wise, I'm going down at quarterback, down at tight end as much as I can, down at defense, and I'm trying to get as much running back receiver here because
that's fair.
There's so many good players in that like mid to high. Outside of Tyreek, we don't have like a week where we're talking McCaffrey, Tyreek, Cup at 9K. Like there's not like a bunch of guys, but like you can fit 3 of these guys in your lineup easily,
Yeah, no problem.
So it's like just mixing and matching. I think DJ Moore is a really good play at 6,900 versus Arizona.
Oh yeah,
like
100%.
I like him a lot. So yeah, man, receiver is going to be crazy this week. Joe, anyone in this like above 6K that you're just dead set on?
Amari Cooper. Going with Flacco. He's at 6,400. This is the highest price you will see
The explosion.
ever. He just lives between 5,800 and 6,500 every season. He's peaking, and the 6,400 is probably going to draw people off the ownership. I mean, Jim can confirm that for me, but line me up some Amari Cooper this week with Joe Flacco. That's an easy build.
Dude, it's just
Yeah,
like
boy.
it's literally just like every week. He continues to get the volume, and he's going to be 8 to 10% owned. Same thing this week.
And he gets to play in Houston in a good environment, which is not
That's like-
common in the AFC North.
Like, I think that a lot of times, I think over the years that I've found out and why I've started becoming more and more successful is like, don't try and galaxy brain yourself into like playing these guys that like that was like
Don't
my
tell me
main
what to
argument.
do.
I mean, that's like going back to like the Kenneth Walker thing. Like I can guess on some things. I know for a fact that certain guys are just going to get the volume. Amari Cooper is going to get the volume, and like he's going to continue to get the volume, and it's like outrageous volume. And again, it's weird to talk about guys that are mispriced in like the 6,000s, but again, why is Amari Cooper not the same price as Michael Pittman and Mike Evans? Amari Cooper should be $7,500, and he's 64. So like, just jam those guys into your lineup, right? And it shows too. The simulation, I mean, he's 8% owned. He's popping up in the optimal lineup 18 to 19% of the time. I mean, like, what are we talking about here? You know? So it's like, I can't get enough of Amari Cooper this week. There's another guy that I don't know if you guys will like that I'm going to play a lot of. And it scares me a little bit. But again, he's literally the only guy getting targets on the team, and it's Garrett Wilson. He's playing the Commanders. The Commanders are terrible.
That's what that offense reminds me of.
Trevor Siemian, dude. Trevor Seaman. You can't.
At 50, in my mind, Garrett Wilson's properly priced based on who's throwing him the ball, right? But at 5,800 for a guy that's going to get that volume, I'll take a shot. I'm more than happy to do that. Especially over a guy like Terry McLaurin, who had his first fucking good game, and the Jets have like a really good pass defense. That's like the best part of their defense. And now McLaurin is coming in at like 20% owned.
But look, crazy. Terry McLaurin, literally the week before, like on comment on the press, he goes, "Yeah, I'm just doing cardio out there." And then the next week, he gets 12 targets, 6 catches, 141 yards, a touchdown, right?
But it didn't happen until Brissett came in.
I'll say this: right. I'll play Garrett Wilson if Zach Wilson plays. If it's Trevor Siemian, I will have 0% Jets on any of my teams, and that includes defense. They've completely quit on Saleh. Everyone else, I'm out.
I'm playing a fair amount of Garrett Wilson regardless. I'll have more if Zach Wilson's playing.
I wish you the best of luck, my friend.
Hey, I will probably need it.
Keep scrolling down.
Is it? I mean, I think that I really hope that he plays, but I really like Noah Brown as a run back in my Brown stacks.
He got me
again.
Paid last week.
Yep.
I'm in.
Yep, 100%. It's just a guy that again people don't know who he is. So when they're scrolling DraftKings, people are like Noah Brown. Like, who the fuck is that? Like, I'm not playing that guy
with the Q tag. Yeah,
100%. And then and as much as I like Drake London, like they see Drake London for $100 less. That's where they're just going to click like 99% of the time, right? Mm-hmm. They're going to go down and click Curtis Samuel again against the best thing that the Jets do, which is defend the pass, right? So, yeah, I'm Noah Brown is a guy that I have a tremendous amount of interest in. Nico Collins did practice. I really don't care. I think that now that Tank Dell's out, as long as Noah Brown is active, I will have quite a bit of him. And again, I think he should probably be priced up closer to 6,000, not at 5,200.
If Jaden Reed is going, I'm going for it. Again, the guy's the clear alpha number 1 receiver in Green Bay.
You know who's turning in to their number 2 receiver is Dontavian Wicks.
100%. I hope Christian Watson doesn't play.
For 2 weeks in a row now, Dontavian Wicks has run the second most routes on the team. He's been targeted the second most amount of time on the team.
Here's kind of like
he scored one touchdown this year, and he's playing.
Here's kind of a random bold call. If Jaden Reed doesn't play, I'll have probably 100% Dontavian Wicks.
Me too, 100%.
It's
a free
reason
square
not to do it at 4,300. But I like Jaden Reed a lot. He's the best. He's the best receiver on that team.
I'm 100% naming our elf on the shelf Dontavian. You said
Dontavian Wicks.
Jim,
I'm 100% naming the elf on the shelf Dontavian.
I don't think it's great for YouTube, so we'll share with you after the fact that insight. But
did Joey go shopping in the clearance section and buy an elf on the shelf?
It was a gift.
No.
From
Brandon Cooks at 4,900?
South of the border?
Nope.
Brandon Cooks at 4,900, I think, is a fantastic. Especially, you need some sort of value in that game. He's the guy. He is the Gabe Davis of the Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh,
he can get 0 or he can score 25, and he's the ultimate GPP play. I like him a lot. Again, I think people are just going to go click Drake London, Curtis Samuel, stuff like that. I think another guy that I was just like kind of down on that's starting to emerge in that offense is Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Hell yeah, dude. I've been on him all year. The guy is so good.
Well, he just wasn't getting enough snaps. Now he is. So, like, they're actively going away from Lockett, and he's now playing in 2 wide receiver sets. So, like, the fact that we can do that is
he's fantastic. Like, the guy's awesome.
And $4,500, I have some interest in. I'll take a few stabs at him. He's only going to be like 3-4% owned, so like that's fine with me.
Absolutely. If Zay Jones is a go, again, kind of depends on T-Law's health there, but again, the price is just too cheap.
What about your guy right there?
Who's that?
Dude,
the Gabe Davis of the Cleveland Browns. Elijah Moore.
Elijah Moore. Yeah, I got him on here too.
I mean, if you're going to play 100% Flacco, you got to get different at some point.
The majority of my lineups will have Cooper and Njoku, but I do have some interest in Moore and Njoku, Moore and Cooper. I do think like a skinny stack with just Moore, and you just kind of build out like massive, builds around that. I think all those are good.
Well, I think that like you can do like skinny stack Moore and Noah Brown together in like your Miami stack, right? And run it back with Cooks. Then you're getting cheap there. I found myself playing a lot of 4 wide receiver lineups this week. I even like a couple of double tight end lineups. We'll get to that in a little bit. Someone said his name. Are we lighting the Dortch this week?
Someone said his name.
No, I'm going full running game for the Cards this week.
Okay.
Well, you said his name. I thought you were all ready to rock.
No, I just know it's Vinny's guy. So when you were like, you got in the area, and I was like, the Dortch?
I know.
So what about he fucked everybody last week, right? And everyone's just making fun of him. What about playing Darnell Mooney at 3,300?
Hold on,
3,300.
Before we get down there, I like Jameson Williams at 3,700. I know, but he's getting the number 2 snaps.
I actually don't have a problem with that. Snaps. And here's why: because if he hits, he's going to hit big. He is a full on GPP type guy, right? Like at that price, you need you want a 60-yard touchdown.
I love seeing Tyreek Hill and Jameson Williams right next to each other.
He is getting more targets and he's getting more playing time and slowly starting to cut into Reynolds and
no, not slowly. Like it's big time. Like
that's what I'm saying. He's cutting into those guys.
But he is the number 2 receiver now.
So I'm fine with that.
Like, he's not, Joey.
Mm-hmm. I mean, number 2, outside of Laporta. Okay, so it's Amon-Ra, it's Laporta, then it's Jameson Williams.
But like no longer is it like he's going to get one shot a game on 6 plays. Like he is playing a lot. So if you think Goff is awesome, he's a guy that you can throw in there as a one-off. And like you said, Jim, if you're playing him a lot, let's say Goff in 5 lineups, throw Jameson and Laporta in one and like leave St. Brown out. And, you know, go Jameson, Williams, and Gibbs, right? And hope that Goff's touchdowns come off of a screen and like a massive 70-yard bomb. Because I think he can't hit for sure. He's very similar, like you were saying last week, except he's actually a decent quarterback, like your Gibson play.
Yeah.
He's the same kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, James
So I don't mind that
this
though.
week. Just saying. All right. Jim, you like Mooney?
Yeah, I mean, I just
Yeah.
think it's interesting. I think it's interesting.
I'm a big Jake
It's
Bobo guy, but hey, not yet. Soon.
He
Soon,
sucks.
though. Don't you worry. Don't you fucking worry.
All right, tight ends.
The all-white team. Represent. Tight end. All right.
Great.
Well, for me, I'm going to try to pay up a lot this week at tight end, and that's what makes.
Well, the
this
nice part is you don't even have to pay up that much.
You really don't. I mean, Laporta is very obviously a very good play, but freaking Trey McBride, dude, is elite.
He's gonna be owned. Okay, 18 to 24%, but showing up in the optimal 26% of the time.
Jesus.
So, like, I mean, you could see it, especially, and I think that a lot of that comes from Marquise Brown being out. And he re-aggravated his heel, the guy that's just perpetually injured. I know he's Kyler's boy, but he's just not very good.
The new Michael Thomas.
He is 100% the new Michael Thomas. Dude, he's going to be in the NFL. He's going to be in the NFL for another, 10 years, and people are going to be like, oh, yeah, Marquise, like Hollywood Brown, blah, blah, blah. And he just
Actually, no, I take that back. You know who he is? Because he's not faking the injury necessarily. He is your guys' old boy that I hate his guts. Who's the guy I absolutely despise who you both always wanted to play? He's out of the league. No one knows why. He's like 26 years old. He should still be playing football.
Oh, the dude for the Texans?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
he's Will Fuller, dude.
Will Fuller.
Yep.
He is Will Fuller. Everyone was like so enamored with this guy who made like a few big plays or had like one good year.
Hey, the Chiefs should go find where the Chiefs should go find where Will Fuller is and see if they can get like 3 weeks of production out of him.
I mean, you might as well. I mean, it's not like he's going to drop passes and make mistakes.
Oh, no, I think Will Fuller might be in the trap house. They looked him up.
All right. Anyways,
yeah, I think.
What is it?
I think
isn't Njoku going to be owned quite a bit? I don't care.
10 to 12%.
Okay. Njoku.
Not enough to matter. I really like the other side of that game, especially even if Nico Collins plays. I think Schultz is a really nice play at 4,600. Yeah, what the hell? My dog is making some weird noise.
Oh, I was gonna say I thought I heard someone's kid yelling.
No, that was my dog.
No, I like Schultz. I like Schultz as well. And Jimmy, you talk about him every week, but I think Kadon's a fine play as your pay down this week. If you want to go there.
I don't know why. Like he hasn't been like putting up like crazy games, but like he's getting the targets, and like 3,300 is like way too cheap.
Yeah.
Just way too cheap.
He's just not quite as consistent, I would say, as some of those other guys, but that's fine.
No, yeah,
3,300 doesn't burn you,
No, 100% doesn't burn you.
Joe, anyone else we missed?
No, not really.
Chig?
Covered it.
Chig?
Yeah, getting jiggy with it. I always got him in my player pool.
I know, but he never does anything.
Oh, you talked about your boy. Sorry, one guy to mention. Like you mentioned him at the beginning, but if you're playing Heineke, I'm playing Kyle Pitts.
Ew.
Yeah.
Like I want the big play tight end to go.
I'd rather play Jonnu.
No.
What about Cordell?
Dude, Pitts fucking sucks, dude.
Cordell.
He has a quarterback who can't throw the football.
I dropped Pitts from my year-long fantasy in like week 12, and nobody picked him up because he's fucking sucks, dude.
How'd that work out for you last week when I knocked?
My tight end got more points than anyone.
I just wanted to throw that dagger.
Pitts just does nothing. He's a worthless sack.
Sub 3K defenses. Who you on? Jim's dealing with a cat problem or rodent problem. Something's going on.
No,
there.
my dog had to take piss.
Oh, okay. Sub 3K D.
My cat's fine.
Panthers.
Who do you love?
Send it. 2,400, bottom of the barrel. Who the fuck are the Packers?
Yeah, I'm fine with that, honestly. I'll play some Panthers this week. I think a lot of people are going to play the Bucks. Oh, yeah, look at that ownership. 16%. All right, so I won't be playing the Bucks. I'll play the Titans, 100%.
I don't mind the Titans.
I know that everyone's enamored with, I'm really happy that the Seahawks beat the Eagles, and apparently they think they're some massive powerhouse now. But yeah, going across country, playing in Tennessee, yeah, I'm all about the Titans at 2,600. They were my initial first one that I took a look at and wanted to go to this week. So especially if Geno plays.
I mentioned my player pool is going to be very specific this week, and I'll probably be 70 to 80% Dolphins defense.
Nice.
I think the Dolphins absolutely smack Dallas again. We've seen this story over and over again. We heard MVP talk out of Dak in the last month. He's on the road against a good team. The Dolphins are going to absolutely rock Dallas's world here. And I think Dak throws multiple picks. Fangio is going to bottle this thing up. And Dak and the Cowboys are slowly going to slip into the abyss once again of the playoff picture.
All right. I like that. I don't mind that one bit.
Bold calls. What do we got?
Jimbo.
I got a good one. Chuba Hubbard, 30-plus points. I'd say that's pretty bold.
Yeah, that's very bold.
That's
Chuba?
Bold. I got
a little
two
maple syrup on it today.
Do you want a second one in there to kind of hedge or get a second one?
I don't need to hedge, but my
I'm throwing
second
two out there. I'm just telling you guys. So
okay. Well, my second bold call will be Vinny's favorite play of the week, and I'll say that Garrett Wilson goes for 25+.
All right, Joe.
James Conner. I think James Conner has us a 30-point game. He's at 5,900, so we need 24 for 4x, which means I think James Connors has a 5x week, 2-touchdown, multi-touchdown game, couple catches, 100-yard rushing. I think James Conner is giving people a reason to give him a roster spot next year. That's not on the Cardinals.
Chuba?
Starting running back.
Chuba and James?
Chuba, you like Scuba?
Chuba and James Conner, 57 and 5,900. You put those two in your lineup, it allows you to basically do anything else.
Especially when you add in the third running back here, and I know Jim's going to get all butthurt over this one, but Kenneth freaking Walker goes for 150 and multiple scores here in this matchup.
He better do it on 10 carries.
You know, my bold call of the week is
19 touches left. I don't know what you're talking about. And the final, hold on, Joe Flacco's throwing for 4 touchdowns this week.
I have a bigger Joe Flacco bold call. I'm going to play Joe Flacco in 100% of my lineups on Sunday.
No, you're not. Why?
Lock it in.
Winners win.
I don't believe you. You are not going to play him in 100% of
I'm so going to play 100%
Joe Flacco, 4 touchdowns.
Joe
Maker winner. It's happening.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Joe Flacco's elite.
Just get a Flacco, Walker, Chuba, Connor lineup.
Dude, if Joe Flacco wins a Super Bowl with the Browns, he will be enshrined forever.
Well, that's great.
I don't know. The AFC is absolutely destroyed, and the Browns have a D.
They do.
Surprise, man.
You got to have a D to win.
Surprised.
Big D.
If I take down 4 figures next week, this Sinatra Rat Pack picture is going to be just a framed Joe Flacco picture.
No, dude, you should take that Sinatra picture and just fucking ram your head through
you
it.
won't. You won't.
Why
You
would
won't
I
get a
do that? I
Flacco.
still
You
like
won't
this.
get a
I'm just gonna move it.
You won't get a Flacco tat.
With elite right over the top.
If I win 6 figures, I'll get a Flacco tattoo.
5 figures.
No. Because that's like 10 grand's not unattainable. If it goes 6 figures,
50.
50K plus, you get a tattoo.
I need.
It doesn't have to be big.
This is
Doesn't
forever.
have to be big.
It's forever, dude. Come on.
So what?
Dude, it could be just a face
Who
of Joe on your
cares?
ass cheek, dude. How many
It doesn't
people
even have to
really
be
look at
that.
your
It could
ass
just be like elite QB or something. It could be a
Get
little
his
cryptic.
number.
with
Can I
just
just
his
get
eyes?
Yeah.
Like with just his
Just
eyes.
his.
Okay, if I win 50 grand, I'll get Flacco's number. What number is
What number is he? 19?
5. Come on,
okay.
you fucking idiots! You don't.
Hey,
I
know
could see
like
him.
that.
I could see him rocking like 19.
That's
right
what
now.
I'm saying. Like, yeah, he could be wearing.
He's
wow.
been.
Oh no, he's
he's
15
always-
right now. He is 15.
Oh.
Don't ever 5, you dick. All right.
He was
okay,
5
so
forever. Sorry.
50K, I'll get 15 tatted on me. That you
And
don't.
with a little elite underneath it.
Okay, it doesn't.
We
There's
have
no
a- we have a
specifications
boot-
on how big
we have
or
a boot
anything like that. Or
No,
where.
no, just like this big, Vinny.
And then-
just like
Okay.
Do we have a
like
boot?
3
Do we have a
inches
boot?
by 3 inches.
Do we have
Just
a
like a
boot
little-
challenge?
Yeah. Is there any boot challenges this week?
Jimmy,
I
Indy
mean-
versus Atlanta?
What we don't care about the game.
What does that mean?
Yeah,
We're
let's
doing
say
a- we're doing a boot challenge.
let's say Kenneth Walker. I don't think he scores over 20 points.
If he scored over
I'll
20
take
points,
that.
Jimmy does a boot.
Yeah, I'll do a boot if he scores over 20.
Ooh.
Done.
What else can we call out?
Well, hold on. He's got to play. Like, if if he doesn't play.
Whoa,
it doesn't
no!
count.
Now you're putting Stippy. He was your bold call.
He has to play the game. If
Why
he
would you make a
plays-
bold call for somebody who's not
Did
going
make
to
a
play?
second boot. He did
Because I
make a
think
second
he's
boot call.
fine, but if he's like inactive or something, it doesn't count.
Yeah, Vinny, you're balking.
Because if someone's
You're-
taking our fantasy advice and the guy's inactive and they just don't take him out of their lineup because of my bold call.
No, you're
They're
like
an
a
idiot.
pitcher, but you're like a pitcher in Major League Baseball before the pitch
Fine.
clock right now.
Take
You
it.
just keep fucking
Yeah.
picking off to first base.
You've been lubing up Kenneth Walker the whole time, and at the end,
Boot it up, 20 points. I'm gonna
Okay.
laugh my ass off when you're chugging next week.
I'd be more than happy to do it. So it's
The
no
boot's
skin
happening
off my
on
back.
Christmas.
We better get
Boots
the-
happening on Christmas Day, by the way. Not
Better
next.
get those lips ready, freak. All
That's
right.
fine. I'll do a boot on Christmas. I don't give a fuck. I'll live stream it.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Good luck. Let's
Make sure
hope
to turn the
for 50K. Flacco, the tattoos in your hands, my
Turn
guy.
the boot. 100% of lineups. Flacco.
His life is in your hands, dude.